Let's pick some winners today at Hump Day with Hollywood Hay and horse racing today.
Yeah.
I'm the Dr. Seuss of handicappers, I suppose.
All right.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
I
I
think
practiced it like 50 times before we got started,
that's
and I
we
thought,
did a good
well,
job. You did a good job.
I'm really going to f it up, to be honest with you. All right, so today we're going to do Gulfstream Park, sunny and warm in Florida, like it's supposed to be, right? Not rainy and
Yeah.
damp, and not a whole lot of scratches today, so that works to our benefits. Coming off an okay day yesterday at Parks, had a lot of winners in our tickets, so hopefully you did too. Who won between you and Christopher D'Souza yesterday?
Mine didn't do very well, so and I don't think his did either. But
I don't think his won either. No, so you guys are still 3-3. Maybe you can settle that score today. We'll see how that works out.
yeah.
Hi, Umet. How you doing today? Terry Hollywood. There you go. Terry Hollywood. Hey, for sure. On Hump Day. Today, free picks at Gulfstream Park at Charlestown tonight. So you're sitting around tonight, getting your brackets filled out for the NCAA. Speaking of which, you head on over to our Facebook page. Let me pull that up here just a minute if I can find it. Our good friend Swiss Army Sean put together a horse racing today pool. Let me see if I can find it in here somewhere. There you go. If you go to our Facebook page, you'll find it right there. I'm playing the tournament challenge. So if you go ahead and sign up, it's completely free. They're going to put in the winners get a prize. So go out there, make your college basketball picks, and get yourself some signed memorabilia from a friend of the Horse Racing Today show. Again, that's over on our Facebook page. You see it scrolling down there on the link below. Horse race, the number 2-day horse race today. Turfway picks. That's always a fun track down there. Race 2 tonight, Bluegrass Parkway. Of course, you got to have a bluegrass horse in the Bluegrass State. Race 4, Mo Sense. Race 5, Delaney's Grace. Race 7, Torals, or something along those lines. Terry, we're here to do Gulfstream Park picks today.
Yep.
The first race is the one that's going to kick off. Yeah, they say in 10 minutes, so that means like a half hour. So go ahead.
That's right. Yeah. It's a 5.5 furlong race. Maiden claiming $12,500 claiming race. Purse $22,000 for maidens, 3-year-olds and upward.
Yes, indeed. So let's talk a little bit about a profile of a winner for the opener at Gulfstream Park in Hallandale, FLA. Again, if you haven't been there, it's worth going to visit. It's a nice track. 5.5 furlongs so far on the dirt. Not many, only a handful of races. Early Speed does win. 2 of those 5 horses went wire to wire. There's a little bit of rail bonus for Kohaku. Maybe I got that right. 2 through 7, they get penalized 8 and out. Well, there's no benefit to that because there aren't 8 horses in this field. 10,000 simulations. Terry, looking for, after based upon our projected winner, simulation odds that are lower than post-time odds. And then based upon our projected speed figures, what % chance a horse has to run above par. The average winning speed figure, according to Brisnet, for these conditions, 78. So a couple of horses in here with a shot to do that. We said speed mattered. 2 out of the 5 go wire to wire. We put it to the test in a simulator again. Who's the fastest out of the gates? What % chance to have the lead? And then based upon those 10,000 artificial intelligence races, Terry, we want to see how likely the pace is to mirror their best performances, i.e. putting the horse in its comfort zone. One looks like it's going to get the lead there, Terry, pretty handsomely.
Yeah, that's 7 Vito's brother. Looks like it's going to break out of that gate like a cannonball and run to that quarter pole first. The 1 and the 6 are the only other 2 horses that may have a chance to go with her. And then 1 has a small overlay, very small, 9.5 to 1 to 10 to 1. The 2 has an overlay also from about 8 to 5 to 2 to 1. The 5 has a better overlay, right around 6 to 5 to 7 to 2. The 5, 2, and 6 show par numbers, and all but the 4 have some kind of C zones there, although the 5 is pretty low.
The God for Vito, where 2 out of 5 go wire to wire. Really robust opportunity to be the rabbit that are all chasing, and then should be pretty comfortable up there with the second best comfort zone score. We do trip handicapping as well. 3, 6, and 7 want to be on the lead. They like to be pilots. 1, 2, and 5, they like to be co-pilots. The C class back here, the 4-horse, a Sesame Street horse, all by itself. When the gates do open up, according to these early pace figures, Vito's brother, as we saw in the simulations, is indeed got the most giddy up and go, about a length quicker than Koaku and Hey River. That's right in there as well. It's going to have to find some late speed, though, because it's the only one in red, Terry. Can't get out to that front and then fade. The end, Macklin, Hey River, they'll be chasing down pretty hard. And those two also score out with the best total pace figures. You got 3 of them that are a little bit better than the rest. Only Lola Loca, so Crazy Lola. That one might be crazy to pick as a closer with some of the worst closing speed. Terry, 1, 5, or 6, one of those 3 probably produces the winner. We have 2 of those 3.
Yeah, we got the 6 on top. Hey River drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer whose horses win 42% of the races when he takes a horse down 2+ classes, and he can improve at the shorter distance. And then Macklin, the 5, is my second choice, ran second versus similar on an all-weather track. In his last race, has a high percentage winning trainer. The 2 is my third choice, 5150, drops in class today. Best dirt speed is fast among today's starters, switches to high percentage winning trainer. And then Vito's brother, the 7, is my long shot, finished third in his last race and should improve at the shorter distance. The only bets we have in here for me, and I think for Rich too, is $2 to win on our first choice, and then a $50 exacta box with our first 2 choices, 50-cent trifecta box with our first 3 choices, and a 10-cent superfecta box with our first 4 horses.
We have the same 4 horses in 4 order. Terry's is in plagiarizing my computer again. Hey River, the 6, running the lowest level of his career. Last time out, showed some additional late speed. Macklin, the 5 horse, most consistent horse in the field. Last time out, showed improvement through the first half mile, usually an indicator of a horse coming to form. 5150, I think that was the first record for the new Van Halen with Sammy Hagar. Sammy Hagar going to be out touring with a lot of Van Halen members this summer, and I can't wait to go. It might be the last chance to hear some Sammy Hagar Van Halen music, and supposedly they invited David Lee Roth if that's your kind of thing. But 5150 is the biggest class dropper. It has a quartet of works since that last race. I suspect the trainer intends to, based on those works, to get this horse off to a faster start than it has so far in its career. And then finally, Vito's brother, making the classic third start after a layoff, and is your likely tone setter early on the opener, Terry. I'm maybe a little bit worried that we don't stick that 1 in there with a little bit of an overlay, Terry, and also the 3rd best total pace score in there. So maybe we should think about changing the 7 for the 1. I think I'm going to do it, Terry.
Go ahead.
I'm going to help you out a little bit. I'm going to put the 1 in there instead, Terry, on the back end, because
All
you're
right.
getting better value at 17 to 1 than 8 to 1. And I don't really see much of a difference. I do think that Vito horse gets to the lead. If he can hang on, that's solid, but he's shown an ability to fade. So let's go ahead and mix it up a little bit. I wanted to throw a curveball at Terry.
That's all right with me.
Yeah, so it should be. Watch for Ochoa horses. The trainer Ochoa could surprise today. Let's keep an eye out on that. Bookmark it. Want to say a quick thank you to Beverly Taylor for the thumbs up on Facebook. Very appreciated. Must be a big fan of the show. And let's see, how long to race number 2?
Mine says 0 minutes.
Yeah, it looks like they're walking into the gate. So let's go ahead and go back to, I got the wrong sheet up in here. Always messing around with stuff, Terry. Just screwing stuff up, Terry. That's what I do.
Yeah, that's all right. Makes everything interesting.
Shouldn't be, right?
Not boring at
No,
all.
no, I am really screwing stuff up. All right. So race number 1. Right now, the 6 horse is your even money favorite. A little bit of a gap then to the 5 horse is your second choice. The 2 horse is your second choice right now. 5150. The 5 horse is your third choice, Terry. And it looks like that one right now is the best value along with the 2, because we have the 2 at basically 8 to 5, about the same for Macklin. The 2 is 7 to 2. The 5 is about 9 to 2. So maybe, if you wanted to put together a value exacta before the gates open, maybe put a $2 exacta box on the 5 and 2. That would be your best paying parlay based upon, or exacta. I'm thinking of sporting terms right now. College basketball coming up in just a day. Plenty of opportunities to lose money with your online account or make money. Well, hopefully you're on the plus side. All right. Just a second away from hearing our good friend Peter Aiello announce from his bird's nest up there at Gulfstream Park, I think on the 3rd or 4th floor. They're off and running in the opener, and the 7 horse, as we suspected, Terry, goes to the lead. And by me changing it, it's going to win the race now, right? I was just trying to help everybody out.
Yeah.
So, it's got a pretty easy lead, too, by the way. The rest of the horses are now trying to crowd up onto it. The 5 horse being the most aggressive of that bunch, with the 6 to the outside. So right now, the 5 is going to have a difficult task. Macklin running between the horses, the 5 and the 7. The 1 horse coming up on the rail. I haven't really asked the 6 horse to run. Got a good hold still on that 7. Looks to me like the 5 horse at the moment is going to run by the 7 horse. The 1 horse is going to get into this mixed area. It looks like the 7's going to he's going to hang in there, though, a little bit, cut the corner a little bit, but I don't think he's going to hang on. So let's see how much he fades at the moment. The 5 horse is coming aggressively. You got the 1 horse going to try here to pass the 7 horse. I don't think he's going to get it done. The 6 horse, the one we both picked on top, it's not going to get the job done, Terry. And you know what's going to happen right here, Terry?
What's that?
Oof. I called it. I said the value exacta, right, based upon our odds was what?
Oh, I don't remember.
5-2.
5-2. Okay,
so
that's
take $2, right? And a $2 exacta box based upon our value odds here, the 5 and the 2. 5 is your winner at 5-1. So a nice price on that guy. The 2 horse just got the edge of the 1 horse at the finish line. So it looks like it's going to go 5, 2, 1. Oof. And then the 3 barely beat the 6, denying me the late race change superfecta. Damn 3 horse.
Wow.
Tap its discretion. Anyway, what are you going to do? It's a good way to start, though. A $10 horse. And this is why we go ahead and do the value odds, folks, in there, because it gives you an idea of, maybe where you want to look in your bets there. Yeah. Philadelphia result. Terry, we're not doing Philadelphia today, but can you look at Philadelphia race 1, see if we have any results?
Yeah, the first race, number 2-1, paid $8, $4.80 and $3.40. The 5 was second, and the 1 was third. And in the next race, the 2, Eva Caseboy won, paid $3.20. Then the 1, then the 7, 1 second, and the 7 third.
All right, well, that sounds pretty good. Off to a good start at Parks. And if you want Parks picks, again, you can get them over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet, the same stuff that we talk about Mondays and Tuesdays. And we'll talk about that again next Monday and Tuesday. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about Gulfstream Park again. And then on Friday, Foreign Friday's back to Rose Hill, where we had a lot of success last week in Australia, where the horses run upside down and the people hang by their feet. Maybe the flat earthers are right, Terry. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I can't see how the horses can run upside down and hang by their feet.
Yeah.
All right. Race number 2, my friend. Let's go talk about that one.
All right. In race number 2, we're going to stretch out a little bit to 6 furlongs. $8,000 claiming race. Purse is $22,000 for 4-year-olds and upwards, which have never won 3 races.
And then at 6 furlongs on the dirt, the dirt track at Gulfstream Park does favor horses with giddy up and go. In fact, 37% of the time, that's a fat number there, Terry. They win wire to wire. There is an inside out bias. So the closer you are to the rail, the better off you are. If you happen to wear an 8 or higher, again, I don't think that's a worry today in race number 2. Well, there is one, Akamar out there. That's the 8 horse in race number 2. That's the very worst place to be. Very difficult spot to win. Terry, speed and more speed. And this race looks like minus the 5 horse, any of them has a chance.
Yeah, all but the 5 do, but the 3, 4, and 7 have the most. So really anybody's guess at who's going to get there first. 2 has a small overlay from about 4 to 5 to about 7 to 5 or 6 to 5. The 2 is the only one that has a par plus number, and all but the 4 have some kind of a C zone number, especially the 5 and 8.
Yeah, those two look like they're the most comfortable. In race number 1, have they posted that yet? It's just went official. Yeah, went 5, 2, 1, and then 3 edged the 6. That 6 horse not showing up at all in the opener. Well, sometimes that's why those maiden claiming races are always a ton of fun.
They are.
Our trip handicapping tells us the second race, almost everybody wants to be middle forward. You got a trio of pilots. The 7 horse is a Sesame Street horse, unlike the others. It can be a co-pilot or a pilot, so it can take its time and figure out where it wants to be. The 2 and the 6, they want to be in the middle of the pack right there. Pressure horses off the lead, but maybe not comfortable on the gas from go. Another horse with some versatility and Solomon's Gold, the 5 horse. And then you got a closer back there, Fort Attitude. Probably has a bad attitude. Early on, when the race gets started, all about lucky, which is sometimes the best way to be when you're handicapping, but really only an 8-point difference between top and bottom. That's a little more than a length. So if a horse gets stuck, come out of the gate, bumps into the horse next to him, gets caught in traffic, has to go wide, any horse could really end up first, as we saw in our simulations. So it's going to come down to who has the most enthusiasm at the end. That looks like Golden Skull has plenty of that, about a length quicker than Carstown. Those two are your top total pace horses. They're a good 6 points clear and 5 points clear of the next group down. Really, this race looks like it should be the 2 and the 3, Terry, and then everybody else. And I have a feeling that's how we rank them.
It is. I like Carzone. Number 2, won his last race at Gulfstream Park, has a high speed figure at today's distance, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starters. He's actually tied with another horse in here. Golden Skull, the 3 is my second choice, finished in the money in 4 out of the last 5 races at Gulfstream Park and finished in the money at today's distance in both of the starts he's ran at this distance. Number 5, Solomon's Gold's my third choice. He won his last race at Gulfstream Park and switches to high percentage winning jockey. And then number 4, All About Lucky, drops in class today and has a high and his speed running style helps his chances. Then we've been starting to put out pick 4s
for Don Johnson. Yes, for Mr.
For
Miami Vice.
That's right. Anyway, so my pick 4 from this race is 2-3 with the 2-3-6 with the 1-5-6 with the 2-3-4-5, and that costs $36.
Yeah, I want to see Don Johnson on our show. I want to see a picture of him with the hair slicked back, that pastel like orange or green suit on with a nice white shirt underneath with a nice tan, standing next to like a $100,000 Lambo. That's what we want to see. Hopefully we can get some picks that allow for him to have, maybe it is. I mean, we might be that way already.
That could be.
Yeah. I like, I mean, the 2 or 3, Terry, they're both in there. I think it's a toss up between them. I like the fact that the 2 horse Carzone did run the top last race speed figure, 4 points better than everybody else last time out. It was the 3rd consecutive time that he upped his speed figure again. That is a Barry Meadows alpha angle, wins at 15% or more. This one likes the fast dirt, 3 times out, a couple of wins. And, well, that's where you're going to look at that one. Golden Skull on the fast dirt, too. A lover of that. 5 times out, 2 wins, a trio of thirds. This one's going to be on the gas from go. And as we saw back here, does have the top total pace by 5 points clear of the 2 horse. So maybe the 3 horse is the one to really put on top, Terry. I think it'll be a 1-2 punch. Just depends on how they get there. Is it speed number or total pace that gets the job done today? Solomon's Gold, I would like to have that as well. Another that likes the fast dirt, 8 races, 2 wins, 5 seconds, and a third. If my math is correct, that's 100% in the trifecta, mostly taking up the back end of the exacta spot. And at the distance, we see that trend hold true too. 5 times, 1 win, 4 seconds. And this horse has a very sharp workout on February the 21st. So it's going to come back ready to roll. The only place we differ, Terry, I'm going to go with the 6 horse as my final choice in here. Exalted Charm. Every now and then, if you go through the past performances, this horse has a pop race, a big race. I don't know if it's going to have a big race today, but if it does pop at 30-1, it's going to pop at a big price. and should really fatten up those exactas, trifectas, and those 10-cent superfecta boxes. And if you have more of a budget than Terry and I, because we're limiting our pick fours to under $50, it's not official until now, but you might want to throw them in that pick four if you have a little bigger budget. I'm going to go 3x2 by 3x4 in my pick four.
All right.
Race 2, Umet likes the 1 and the 4, Fort Attitude, and All About Lucky. That's always good. Luck is always good, especially in horse racing.
Yep.
To rewind back to race number 1, where we didn't need a lot of luck to take the 2 horses we had identified as value horses, the 5 and the 2 in that exacta box for $1, Terry. So a $2 bet, taking those 2 value bets and putting them together, you had an exacta for $1 that paid $27.40. Now, if you had $100 because you bet like Terry, you did it 50 times and you're calling it a day.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, you just brought home what, $1,350.
Yep.
Nothing wrong with that.
No,
not for a minute and a half's work. Race number 3, Terry. Well, take us a little bit more than a minute and a half to work through it, but let's get started.
Yeah, well, it's 7.5 furlongs. It's on the turf. It's a maiden claiming race, $25,000 claiming price, $32,000 purse. It's for maiden fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward.
And the 7.5 furlongs on the South Florida grass. Early speed once again. Get off that Tapeta unless you're in those sprints. And Gulfstream has a speed track. 27% of the time, it's the fastest out of the gate, is the first to the winner's circle. Rail bonus for fancy stacks, 2 through 7. They play a little bit under par, and the best place to be in this case is to wear the pink 8 or higher. Speed again, Terry, a major factor in the third race of the day. And again, we find a race where everybody has some chance to be the winner.
Yeah, as you said, as you said, all of them show some kind of speed, but that 7 shows the most. If it can get out of there, it should get that quarter pole first. The 3 has an overlay from just about 7 to 5 to 4 to 1. The 4 has an overlay from about 7 to 5 to 6 to 1. And then the 3 and the 4 are the only 2 horses that have par plus numbers. They all have some kind of C-zone numbers.
And yesterday we introduced trip notes, Terry. So for the second day in a row, trip notes make an appearance. Terry and I have been watching, and again, Tom will be joining us shortly. I have to have a conversation with him on Friday about that. But right now we're watching the major tracks. We've been watching every race at every major track, well, plus the tracks we do our shows on since the beginning of March. And we got about 100 horses in our trip notes right now, one of which is Dialectic. For the tracks that we don't do shows on, again, I'll put the trip notes on one of our social sites, maybe at HRT Rich to beginning, because I only have 164 followers for like 164 days. It never grows. So I give everybody incentive to come over and follow me. But one of those trip notes today is Dialectic. Terry, you mentioned that this one hopped at the start. What else do you remember from its last race?
Well, I think it really affected him when he did that. Horse lost quite a few lengths there, so it still did okay after doing that. So,
all right. And our trip handicapping, look at this race, Terry. 2, 5, and 7. Of course, these are all horses that are looking for their first win. So far in their races, they have not been within 5 lengths of the leader at the finish line. 1, 3, 4, and 6, they preferred to be followers than leaders. Somebody is going to take the leadership role, Terry. It does look like Dialectic and Applause. Those 2 horses should be the ones early on setting the tone. If they're not going too fast, perhaps they'll be able to hold off. Arismia, Starlit Sophie, those 2 come in the hardest at the end. Our top total pace picture tells us there's 3 horses, the 3, 4, and 6 that are 6 points clear of the next group, which is the 1 Fancy Stacks. It looks like maybe the 7 and the 2. Well, maybe you could toss out the 2. Who knows, Terry? You know. Who did you pick?
Yeah, I went ahead and picked the 3 Starlit Sophie. She finished second versus similar last race at Gulfstream, and she has the highest last race speed rating. She's actually tied with another one, and she has a high percentage winning trainer. Number 6, Applause, my second choice, drops a class today, has the highest last speed rating. And she has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 36% of the races when taking a horse from a maiden to a maiden claiming race. And then the 2 is my third choice. Ran second versus similar in her last race. Has a high percentage winning trainer. Number 1, Fancy Stacks, is the long shot. She drops in class today and has a high percentage winning jockey.
I'm going to go completely different angle. Well, not really. I mean, we both have, you have the 6 in there. I applause the 6 horse today. It's the only horse in the field, Terry. You mentioned making that drop, high win rate for the trainer, but it's making the biggest drop in horse racing, made in special weight. And then last time out on top of that, tied for the top last race speed figure. Has a pair of workouts between races. Only reason to believe this horse is going to get better. So I'm going to take a few of my extra dollars and do a $10 win bet on the 6 horse here. I was thinking about doing a 50-cent pick 3 with 6 all and hoping to catch some short prices behind it because it's only 50 cents there. But I have a trifecta in the last race that I wanted to go after as well. I went ahead with the Trip Note horse. Yesterday's inaugural Trip Note horse, Terry, that 2 horse in Parks, finished third, I think, right? Third?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it did so at 10-1. Not bad.
Yeah, it did very well. So
yeah, it helped to increase the trifecta and superfecta payouts. So let's see if Dialectic can go 2 for 2 in the money. This one, off of its debut, doesn't really need to improve much at all to go ahead and win at this level. And just kind of quick rewind on that. We've talked about it a couple times on the show before, but horse number 7 here. Let me get the marker here. Came out March 1st on its debut. You can see here, it got its speed, hopped, and then faded at the end. But ran a speed figure of 62. You can add anywhere between 5 and 13 points to that number for its second race. The par number for this is 74. So if it improves from 62 to 75 on the upper end, it has a pretty good shot to compete against these horses. So why not? It hopped at the start. It's a Terry Trip Note. Let's give it a whirl. Number 4, Arisema. I know I'm screwing that up. It is the most consistent horse in the field. One of 2 that has a par plus number in here. This one should be better in the second start after a layoff. And last time out, ran a Z pattern. And then finally, Starlight Sophie is our simulation favorite, is our par plus favorite. Believe it or not, it was still a very difficult call for me to put this one in over the 2 horse, Terry.
All right.
So race number 4 is next for us. And then Umet likes the 4, 7, and 2 in a straight ice cold trifecta.
All right. Well, we're going to stretch out to 1 mile and 70 yards on the all-weather track. It's a claiming race at $12,500 claiming price and $24,000 purse for 4-year-olds and upward, which have never won 3 races or which have not won a race since September 20th, 2023.
Yes, and $170 on the synthetic tells you that you're looking for, again, speed. Early on, speed does good. 1 out of 4 horses does get to the front, stays on the front, and goes right to the photo session. Post 1, 2, and 3 get a little bit of a bonus. 4, 5, 6, and 7, a little bit of a penalty. And man, you just do not want to wear the 8 or out at $170 on the synthetic. Very in race number 4. Couple of scratches. The first on the card today, and one of them takes out the speed.
Yeah, that's true. It took out that really massive speed that Swan Lake getting scratched, but the 1 and 5 are the only 2 that showed some decent speed numbers, and they should go head to head to that quarter pole. None of them really show an overlay, so we have nothing there. And there's no par plus numbers. The 1, 5, and 6 are the only ones that have C zones.
So a whole lot of red. That's a warning not to get too crazy about any particular horse in this race. Maybe we can find something out in the pace trip handicapping. Well, the 6 horse looks like it wants to be forwardly placed. Probably has a good shot against these. Maybe one of these closers will be a left arrow horse and take the lead. Looks like coming out of the gates, minus the 6 horse Sur Terre. Everybody else is pretty close contention with each other. Maybe the 1 horse, the 2 horse, whichever one really wants to lead, probably goes and gets the lead. Late speed belonging firmly to Backwoods Boogie, Burning Man, and Sur Terry, along with Gliding a Fleet. Again, you putting all those numbers together, Terry, this looks like a very competitive start in a short field. Backwoods Boogie getting about a 5-point advantage over the next closest horse. And then there's another 5-point gap in here. So maybe This is the spot to do a 1 over to 5-2, over to 5-2-3-6 for your exactas and trifectas, according to Pace. Terry, how about according to Terry? What are we doing?
I like the one, Backwoods Boogie. He finished in the money in the last 6 races, winning one of those starts at Gulfstream Park, and he likes this distance. So he's very competitive, and especially at today's distance. The 5 Gilding Fleet is my second choice, ran second versus similar in his last race, has the highest last race speed rating, actually tied with the next horse, the 6, Mamza. He has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and his best all-weather speed is the fastest among today's starters. And then he's my third choice. And then my long shot is number 2, Burning Man. His best all-weather speed is fastest among today's starters. He's actually tied with the 6 horse.
Yeah, when we had on Scott Fielder from the contest, the guy who's constantly winning big money over there, number 3 has a new trainer, so keep an eye on Sir Thierry. And then he likes the 6, the 5, and the 3. I'm going to go with the 5 horse, Terry, on top. I feel like just about anybody could win this race. Again, Scott Fielder telling us in the 5 horse field, take the longest shot on the board. That's going to be Burning Man. But Gilding a Fleet ran at this level last time out, just missed by a neck head bob in there at the end. Did run some faster fractions in that race. We like to see that, but added on top of that some additional late speed today. So cutting back in distance a little bit should be helpful from a $1.16 to a $1.70. Burning Man, might as well go with that long shot in here. I think this one has the best all-welder numbers in the race. Terry did show that there's some hope for improvement today with better 2 and 4 furlong pace numbers last out. And the trainer liked so much what he saw, he put a maintenance workout in there to keep the saw sharp. Mamza, the 6 horse, is the third choice for me, Terry. Definitely the most back class. Gonna drop in class in this one. The last time he ran at this level was 10 races ago. And when he ran versus some like these, he won by 5 1/4 lengths. And he did that after dropping. So it looks to me like the trainer's trying to repeat that pattern. Then finally, Backwoods Boogie has a pair of seconds in the last 2 at this level. Very consistent performer, Terry. So you know you're going to get an even race. He's just one of those horses that's looking around at the end, expecting somebody to pass him, and usually lets somebody do just that. A professional wallpaper hanger, Terry. Christopher D'Souza, how are you today? We went over that this morning, and we don't think either one of you won pick of the day, unless you did. I don't remember. Did you win yesterday in that race, Christopher?
I
must have.
I didn't win. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I was looking through that too. I couldn't remember either. Terry, I should have went back and looked at the videotape.
Yeah,
like Howard Cosell used to say. You remember him, Terry?
No, I don't.
You don't remember Howard Cosell?
Oh, sure. He used to do Monday Night Football.
Yes, in boxing, when boxing was big, right?
His horse didn't win either, Chris.
No, he said his horse didn't win. Yeah, so you guys are still tied at 3. Someone, you both struck out with the game on the line. So let's go ahead and see if we can find another one today.
All right.
Race number 5 as we make our way through this 8-race card. Terry, what's cooking?
Okay, we're going to go at 7 furlongs. It's a $6,250 claiming race, purse $23,000 for 4-year-olds and upward.
So dirt in Florida, fast, right? At least on the southeastern part of Florida. Early speed again does find the winner's circle. Once again, 1 out of 4 do win gate to wire. There's an inside penalty for the inside 3 in this case. Outside in bias. So 4 and out, they do win at a higher rate than they should. Really, the best place to be is 8 and out, Terry. In race number 5, we have an 8 horse. Well, we only have 7 horse field with 1 scratching in there. But as I mentioned before, the Buffalo Girl with all the speed is on the outside.
That's right. That 8 horse shows lots of speed. There's a little bit of speed on the inside 3 horses. The 2 has a small overlay from just over 3-1 to 4-1. The 3 has a small overlay from 4-1 to 9-2. And the 5 has a overlay from 2.5-1 to 3.5-1. The 4 and the 5 are the only 2 that have par plus numbers, and all of them show some kind of a C-zone number.
Yeah, and if you're new, par plus just simply means a horse, when we do our 10,000 simulations, this one has basically an 11% chance, loudmouth, to run a speed figure of 85 or above. According to Brisnet, that's the average winning speed figure for the conditions. And then C-Zone over here is based upon our projected early pace, how likely the horse is to get a pace that mirrors its best performances or putting the horse right in its comfort zone. We also do trip handicapping, Terry, as I mentioned many times. In this race, we got a trio of pilots. One of them, the 2-horse, Joe DiBaggio. That one could be either a pilot or co-pilot. We don't really have a co-pilot by demand there. The PC horse, that's the most versatile horse perhaps in the race, Pure Spite. They can be middle, forward, they can close. They can really kind of be anywhere on the track. And then finally, the 5 and a 6, they want to close. Let's see how this race shapes up. Early on, Ragtime Blues. That one looks like it could be your front runner. The PC type sitting right there where it wants to be. My man, Vito. A lot of speed up in here, Terry. Could be competitive early on, though. I do think these two probably stretch out a little bit on the others. Coming through to the end, Most Wanted Man has the most late speed. They kind of stagger down a little bit from there. So it could be that the horses in the middle with some late speed should do the best here. The 2 and the 3 grading out again as the best, Joe DiBaggio and Pure Spite. Those are your 2 versatile horses in there, Terry. Either one of them in your picks?
Well, I like the 2, Joe DiBaggio.
DiBaggio.
Yeah, DiBaggio. Bajaj, whatever. He finished 4th in his last race, but he steadied during the race and had a high percentage winning trainer and switches to high percentage winning jockey. Pure Spite, the 3 is my second choice. He ran second versus similar to his last race, has the highest last speed rating, and has a high percentage winning trainer. This trainer wins 27% of the races in the first race after claiming a horse. That's pretty good. Number 5, Rhymes and Like Dimes, is my third choice. He likes park racing. He's won, been in the money 66% of the time here and won 22% of those starts. And he's finished in the money at today's distance 50% of the time. Loudmouth, the 4, is my long shot. He drops in class today, has best start speed, is fastest among today's starters, and he has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 28% of the races when taking a horse down 2+ classes. I'm going to play for Don Johnson, my pick 4, 2, 3, 4, 5 with the 2, 5, 7. I'm going to single the 3 in the 7th race and then go with the 3, 4, 5 to finish it. The hot cost is $18.
Yeah, we have the same for the second time today. I don't know if I'm going to make a change on this one, though. Joe DiBaggio, trainer Ronald Coy, doesn't claim that many, but he does. He wins at a pretty high rate. And then since he claimed his horse, he put 4 pretty good workouts in it and a really special one. Well, at least one that indicates the horse's talent on 4 furlongs on February the 24th. Pure Spike, the 3-horse, also catching the second nod. Bullet and Go workout after being better across the board with all of its race internals. Rhymes Like Dimes. That one is our simulated favorite. It's one of 2 horses with a par plus. Kind of wanted to put this one a little bit higher maybe, but the all-weather record is a question mark. And then finally, the 4-horse, Loudmouth. We talk a lot about trainers' intentions, at least I do. This one's going to run at the slowest level in its last 10 races. And the trainer intent here today is to either win and get bought. But if he doesn't win, the $23,000 purse for a claiming 62.5, $6,250 is beyond excellent for this level. And the all-weather might be, unlike the 5-horse, the right surface for this horse because he's run on it 4 times, collected 2 wins and a 3rd in there. Race 2, Terry, here's my pick 4 too, by the way. You see, I'm going 4 by 3 by 2 by 2 on the back end. And in race number 2, they're loading into the gates right now, Terry. It does look like the 2-horse. I don't know what I just did right there, but I just screwed everything up. Let's see if I can fix that on my end. So race number 2, the 2-horse is your favorite at 4 to 5. Next up is the 3-horse. All right, they're off and running, so forget the odds. And the 4-horse, all about lucky. One of the horses we suspected would be on the chase early on is on the chase early on. He does have the lead. And then they go to that front view, which makes it impossible to tell who's doing what at Gulfstream Park.
Yep.
4-horse continues to set the tone. He's got a trio of horses chasing up behind it, including the 2, 3, and 8. The 1-horse tucked down on the rail. Ford Attitude, trying to save a little bit of ground. The 7 horse, he's making a move right now, but that 4 is pretty comfortable up on the front there. Terry running at 22.7 in the opening quarter for 6 furlongs. Not all that fast. Remember, a bunch do go wire to wire. They're starting to make some ground up on that. The 5 horse right now, going to go 4 wide through the turn. Going to be a tough turn to make. The 2 horse right now in a very good spot, just waiting for a lane to open up. I don't know that he's going to have any energy right in here to get it done. It looks like back-to-back 5s, Terry, are going to come home winners. The 5 horse at 9-2, which is a very good way for us to start our pick 4s. It's going to go 5, 4, 7, 2, I think. 5, 4, 7, 2. I think that was the order, unless it was the 8 in there. So 5, 4, 7, 2. We're both alive. Oh, no, you didn't start. You didn't put the 5 in your pick 4. I thought you did. I looked up. My bad. So the 5 horse coming home the winner. Let's see if maybe I can get through with just 2 horses in the next race and then maybe hit a pick 4. Terry had the first 2 pick 4s yesterday, right?
I did. Yeah, first 2 I won. They didn't pay a lot, but they paid okay.
Well, you know what I say, Terry? There's no value in a garbage ticket, right?
That's right.
When you throw it in the garbage, that's all that's good there. Race 2, Christopher D'Souza was on the 5 and the 2, so we missed that one, but he hit that one with the 5 horse winning. And who finished second, Terry? The 4 horse, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that speed got out to the front, stayed out in the front. And again, that is a speed track down there, so keep an eye out on that. Yeah, what race are we on now?
Well, we're going to go to the 6th race.
The 6th race. All right, let me pop this up on there. 3 races to go, including race number 6. Let's talk about this one.
Okay, it's a mile and 16th race on the turf, and it's a maiden, $89,000. It's a purse of $89,000 for maidens 3-year-olds and upward.
Yeah, pretty basic stuff.
Yeah,
$1.16 on the grass, Terry. We're looking for stalkers. This time around, only 12%, so a small number. There's a lot of great number 12s in the history of the game. I guess you got to go with Tom Brady, right? Is the top 12?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't think of anybody else that gets a higher score than that. There is an inside 3 bias. 4 through 7 get a penalty, biggest penalty. 8 and out, a very small penalty. So tactical speed's probably better than front end speed in this case, Terry, in the 6th spot. It does look like one has more front end speed than the rest, though.
Yeah, the 5 does. Malibu Spring shows a lot of speed, and then also the 5 has an overlay from about 4 to 5 to 9 to 2. None of them show any par plus numbers. All but the 2 and 5 show some C zones.
Yeah, it looks like the 8, but really none of them all overwhelmingly comfortable the way our pace projects out. The 1 horse, Sentenzia, going to give it a go for the first time. The 4 horse, Scat 2 tap. If it can get to the front, then it could be a low knee. The 5, 6, and 8 prefer to be watching the front runners do the heavy lifting, and then 2 and 7 want to come from off the pace, Terry. So early on, the early speed belongs to the 5. What happened?
Hello, Rich.
Am I blanking out again?
You froze, yeah.
All right, so it looks like the 5 and the 6 should get out to the front. The 4 horse, that low knee type, might not get to where it wants to be. Let's see at the end. 2 economics. The closer should close along with the 7, Sword of Honor. So a lot of horses should be exactly where they want to be in this race, Terry. The top total pace horses are the 5 and the 7. So a pressure type and a closer type. A length better than unit economics. Looks like Scat UTAP. Maybe you can cross that front runner out, especially since he's not going to get the front. And then maybe pay attention to the 1 to see what it offers as a first-time starter. What are you going to offer us in terms of your picks?
Well, I like the 5 Malibu Springs. He finished 3rd versus similar in his last race, has a highest last race speed rating, and his best turf speed is fastest among today's starters. Number 2, Unit Economics is finished 6th after breaking in a really crummy tangle, only losing by 1 1/4 lengths, and has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 26% of the route races. The first time he has a horse compete in one. And then the 7, my 3rd choice, is Sword of Honor. He has beaten only a half length versus similar in his only start. The longer distance can help. And he has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 25% of the races. In the second grass race, a horse he has tries, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. Number 6, New York Strong, is my long shot. Comes in from Aqueduct, but has not raced for more than 5 months, but has been steadily working out for today's contest, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey.
I'm going to go with the 7 horse. I know that Umet there, he likes the 2-1 exacta. So hopefully that plays out for him. I like the 7-2 exacta. I guess that's the way it plays out. Swordfish in its debut, Sword of Honor, not Swordfish. That one did have a wide trip in its debut. Still managed to close a lot of ground at the end of the race. The extra distance today helps out, especially since I expect the horse to be more fit with 2 workouts between races. Number 2, Unit Economics. Really, as you mentioned, Terry, difficult beginning in its last start. That was its debut. Did close, almost got there at the end. It's another one that benefits from some additional runway. Would have liked to seen some more workouts between the middle. Sentenza, that's that first-time starter, Terry. You just cannot ignore the double bullets and go on the 1 horse. So if you look here, again, Barry Meadows talks about in his book that a horse whose last workout before going to make its debut, it's a bullet. That's an alpha angle. And those alpha angles, I define them as alpha angles, not him. They win at 15% or more. So keep an eye out on that when you're doing your handicapping. And also has some pretty robust turf breeding in there. So 2 reasons why you might like that horse. And then finally, number 5, that one's Malibu Springs. I wouldn't really, Terry, is not all that far from winning its last 3 races, all of which were at this level. My problem with this horse finishing in that position right off the winner is the horse is not learning to win. It's learning how to finish second.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to see a horse learn how to graduate today, right? Race number 2, no one was Ochoa horse, came in 3rd on that. And you had mentioned earlier today to keep an eye out for that. If you're joining us for the first time, kindly hit us up on, if you're watching on Twitter, if you could retweet, we'd appreciate that. That would help us reach more people. If you're not done so yet, kindly head on over to our YouTube channel. I'll post a link to it in just a moment in the comment section, and subscribe there. We're just a few short of 5,000. The ultimate goal, as I mentioned yesterday, is to get to 10,000. That's when YouTube considers you an official creator, and they give you some additional tools to help grow your channel. I just linked to the YouTube channel. So if you're watching on some other venue, kindly hit that link and then go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thumbs up are appreciated. Comments are appreciated. Any interaction with us digitally helps us with the algorithms. All right, Terry, let's help ourselves a bit by finding some winners in the first leg of the late double.
Yeah, we're going to shorten up to 5 furlongs on the all-weather track. It's a $25,000 claiming race. First $31,000. It's for 3-year-olds and upwards, which have never won 2 races.
And on that Tapeta, when they're only going 5 furlongs, you better be going fast. 40% go wire to wire. That's a big number. If you win the race to the quarter-mile marker, that means basically if you get, about 6-5, 7-5 odds or better, there's a good chance that that's a good value bet. There is a little bit of a rail bonus for I'm Peppa. 2 through 7, a small penalty. The best place to be in this short sprint is 8 and out. So a little bit of a barbell. Inside or outside speed, Terry. And this is another one of those races, man. That one really competitive when the gates open.
Yeah, very, very competitive. They all show some kind of speed. Really, who knows is going to get that quarter pole first. The 2 has an overlay, a real nice one, almost 4-1. It's to 20-1. And the 4 has an overlay from, just about 2-1 to 3-1. The 2 has a small par plus number, and that's only 1. All but the 3 and 4 show some kind of C-zone numbers.
Oof. This is, again, looks like anybody's race right there from that set of data.
Yeah.
Let's see what kind of view we get from the trip handicapping. Well, 4 that want to be on the front, 3 that want to be on the back. So be fast or be strong at the end. So if you want to be fast, you better be, maybe the 4 horse right in here, Terry, the 4 Sterling Harmony could be your pace setter as a closer. We call those left arrow horses, Terry. So if his typical giddy up and go when the gates open puts him in contention, and he still knows how to close. At the end, he won't be closing as much as Mr. Narcissistic or Sergeant Sinatra, but really won't be all that far off of that. And then when they hit the tape, the one with the most total pace is Sterling Harmony, although minus the I'm a Peppa. All the others with her at 7 points of each other. So again, a misstep, getting blocked, a tough or wide trip could be the difference between finishing first or maybe collecting the last place check, whatever that is.
Yeah.
This is your bet of the day here, Terry?
It is. The 3-horse, Mr. Narcissistic, is my bet of the day. He ran second his last race, and he only lost by a neck. His best all-weather speed is fast among today's starters. He has a high percentage winning trainer. Then I like the 5 Academy Choice. He likes Parks Racing. He's finished in the money 66% of the races, winning 33% of those starts. And he has today's distance won't be a problem. And then he also has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Sterling Harmony, the 4, is my next pick. Drops in class today and has a high percentage winning trainer. And then the 1 horse, my long shot, he won his last race. The Rail Post is winning a 20% clip. He has a high percentage winning jockey. I'm going to bet $16 to win on the 3, and then I'm going to bet a $4 day to double use the 3 with the 1, 3, 4, and 5.
I'm going to go ahead and start this one off with the 4-horse Sterling Harmony, my top total pace horse. That's also your simulation odd favorite. And even though it doesn't look like it on paper as that closer, going to be the pace setter in here in all likelihood. And that doesn't need to be, though, which is a benefit. And he's going to drop in class. And when I was going through the race notes yesterday for Parks, 2 different tracks, I know, but I'm noticing, and I've noticed this theme throughout a lot of the comments, is dropping in class being a key component to finding the winner's circle. And since that last race has a maintenance workout. Number 5, Academy Choice, second choice in here, strong workout between races and potentially the best all-weather horse in this group. Number 3, Mr. Narcissistic. It is rising in class. Terry has the back class to unquestionably handle the rise. But on the all-weather, this horse has run 25 times. Only won 1 of them. That math tells me 4%. Seems to me likes to finish second or third with 8 seconds and 4 thirds. Just too many chances to win on the surface, and proven to me that he likes to come up short. So I put him where he likes to finish, second or third. And then finally, Mayhem in the Palace. Apparently that's what's really happening over there right now with Kate. Are you reading about all this stuff, Terry?
Oh, yeah. It's funny.
Yeah, I mean, what has she got? She's dead. She's got a butt lift. They're having affairs. I read that she got abducted by aliens. I mean, all kinds of crazy things. But anyway, notwithstanding what's happening over in the English press, this one, Mayhem in the Palace, has a solid string of workouts, prepping after brief rest. Lowest level of his career in just 5 starts. So one of the most lightly raced horses in the field. So perhaps there's some hidden potential in that horse that we haven't seen yet in a handful of starts. Last race of the day, Terry, take it away.
Okay, so this race is a 5 furlongs, or I'm sorry, not 5 furlongs, 5.5 furlongs, all weather. It's a maiden claiming it's $12,500. It's $22,000 purse for maidens, fillies, and mares, 3-year-olds and upward.
You smell that, Terry? You smell that, Terry?
No.
I'm smelling a challenge.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Christopher D'Souza, pick of the, and look at that, all caps too, right?
Yeah.
Not only is he telling, he's screaming it's his pick of the day over there.
Yeah. He likes to pick his pick of the day to be in the same race my pick of the day is. So I think he waits till I declare mine and then he decides on which one he likes. So
no bet for me. I'll have an equal chance in race 7. I kind of agree with that, Umet. All right, well, let's see if we get a tiebreaker. Terry, you got the 3, and then Christopher has the 4. This one's for all the marbles. As I said yesterday, the brawl to settle it all. I had one of those, unfortunately, in an apartment on Main Street long time ago. Regretful behavior from a young man. I would redo if I had a chance. Anyway, race number 8, 5.5 furlongs on the all-weather track. Much like the 5 furlong version, that extra half furlong means you better be even faster. which is kind of surprising to me because nearly half of them go gate to wire, Terry. A little bit of an inside 3 discount, 4 and out. The farther you are from the rail, the better off you are in this short sprint, Terry. I can't figure out why that would be. But if you're on the outside and you got some wheels, you got a chance. That's funny because the 8 horse is the only one without any wheels.
That's right. All of them but that 8 has some kind of speed, but the 7 looks like it has the most speed, followed by the 2. The 2 has an overlay from almost 13 to 1 to 30 to 1. That's pretty nice.
Yeah,
3
nice.
has an overlay from about 6 to 5 to 2 to 1, and the 5 has an overlay from about 6 to 5 also to 8 to 1. None of them show any par plus numbers, and all but the 1, 4, and 8 show some kind of C zones.
Yeah, again, a lot of red, a lot of overlays, a lot of things can happen in this spot. Let's see what the pace handicapping tells us. Well, the 2, 6, 7, and 8 so far in their maiden voyages, they haven't been within a handful of lengths of the winner when it stopped, smiled for the photo. The 4 horses at closer, Acquired Taste, and then the 1, 3, and 5. They want to set the tone again. We mentioned having speed is going to be the deal maker here in all likelihood. So, Gravacious, Albright, Mrs. Cashman, Acquired Taste. A lot of these horses got a good shot to get to the front. In fact, they all do have a shot. We saw in our simulations. Getting good position, having some at the end of the race might be the way to the winner's circle. And look at that. Cabernet, Terry, has a pretty good late speed advantage, but man, that one might be in a starting gate when they hit the turn. Looking at that difference there for the early speed. Our top total pace horse is Aperol Spirits. Aperol Spirits, a little bit better than For the Thrill, which is a little bit better than Mr. Cashman, which is a little bit better. And that looks like it's a theme all the way down, Terry. All right, who's your pick to click to close out the card?
I like the 4 Acquired Taste, ran second versus similar last race at Gulfstream Park, has a high percentage winning trainer. This trainer wins 31% of the maiden claiming races he has a horse competing in, and her best all-weather speed is fast among today's starters. And then the 3 is my second choice, finished third versus similar in her last race and has a high percentage winning trainer jockey. The 5 For the Thrill is my third choice. She ran second versus similar on the dirt in her last race and has the highest last race speed rating. My Sweetheart Danny, the 1 horse, is my long shot. She finished third in her last race, although I'm out of money because I can't make any bets here.
So Umad says, let's take a look at the 8 horse in here. So let's go ahead and do that. That one, if I remember correctly, and I'll talk about this in just a moment. Yes, in my recollection, surprisingly, not as bad as I think it is. This one's been off since December 2020. So it's been off for a while, but a bunch of months. I can't do the math on that. It ran in the maiden optional claiming, so it's dropping in class, hence the arrow when I do my handicapping in here. Wasn't really all that well bet, $34 to 1, 34 to 1. But did get off to a weird start. Third path, 11 horses, got off to a really bad start, really never engaged. That's when the horse was 2 years old, right? So we talked about 2-year-olds coming back, with first-time Lasix being perhaps an indication that the horse could improve. Although I would like to see it come back at 3 years old. So that extra year off tells me it was more than just bleeding that ails this horse. But you're looking at these workouts here, it does have a steady string of workouts getting prepped. I mean, going all the way back, and a couple of them in here pretty decent for this level. Maybe not the fastest relative to the other horses in there. So that one does have a chance in here, and that's why I put it in my picks too. I didn't put it on top, Terry. I put that one in the 4th position. I put the 5 horse on top For the Thrill. Why not? Let's put that one on the top of the ticket. It would be a thrill if it won. At the 8 to 1, I don't think you're going to get 8 to 1 because if you go through the speed figures last time out, this one was 10 points better than the next closest horse hitting par for this level. And a 10-point speed figure difference, according to Andrew Beyer, man, you really have to identify reasons why that horse won't perform today. The only reason I could come across is maybe it doesn't like all weather, but it's making the classic third start after a layoff. So maybe one offsets the other, and then the additional benefit of that speed figure bump is enough to find the winner circle at a good price. If not, Aperol Spirits, the 3 horse, the favorite, more one of the favorites, got a good shot to be better in the second start after a layoff. At the worst, it'll look like the first start after a layoff, which is probably good enough to beat most of these in here. Acquire Taste, the 4-horse, Peter Aiello's top choice in the morning line, was 4 wide in its last race. Closed, getting a little bit extra distance. That half furlong today could be a difference maker, although I don't really want a closer at a distance where half of them go wire to wire. And then finally, Cabernet, that 8-horse that we just talked a little bit about with Umet, has not run since he was 2 years old, getting that first Lasix. Would have liked to see that happen when it's 3. It is the biggest class dropper in the field. And as I mentioned, those last 2 workouts were good enough for this level. But I think perhaps the biggest hint that the horse might be sitting on a good race is the jockey, Jose Ortiz. Why would one of the leading jockeys get in at one of the lowest levels on a horse that finished 11 by 22 lengths in its debut? I got a sense that Juan Alvarado told Jose's agent, hey, this one's sitting on a big race. Let's go ahead and collect a little bit of a nice check at the end of the day to build his bankroll for the weekend. That was all my thinking there, Terry, on that 8-horse. Probably going to end up dead last. It's going to be 8th by 88 lengths this time around.
Yeah.
Umet says the 8 and the 5. There you go, Mr. Terry. You and I are going to be back tomorrow to do Parks once again, probably about the same time, 10 minutes before the supposed Gulfstream. Yes. Yeah. About 10 minutes before the published post. And we know down there, those posts are nowhere near accurate. And then again, Friday, Rose Hill with my good friend, 22-1 Tom, probably around 4 or 5 p.m. Eastern. So keep an eye out on that. And then we'll be back on Monday and Tuesday with Parks, Wednesday and Thursday. A big race weekend this weekend with the Louisiana Derby. It's the first 100-point race for the Kentucky Derby. Of course, free picks today at Guaranteed Tip Sheet are Charlestown tonight. We will have the Louisiana Derby covered. 100 points guarantee you're going to be in the Kentucky Derby. 50 points for second, probably very strong likelihood you're in the Kentucky Derby. And then next weekend, I think one of the best precursor races for the Kentucky Derby is the Florida Derby. We will have a wagering guide for that. Don't want to miss any of that action. Terry, any final thoughts from you before you and I head out for the day and start prepping for tomorrow's Gulfstream work?
Well, I just want to let you know that Matt likes his pick of the day is in the race 6, and he likes the 2. So we'll see how that one does. So anyway, other than that, no, I don't have anything else to say except for please be safe and give your loved ones a hug and a kiss, because you never know what's going to happen nowadays. And have a great week.
Yeah. And of course, as we mentioned before, kindly share our content with all of your friends. Make sure, if you haven't done so already, that you follow along on one of our social sites. Remember, if you're a college basketball fan, our Swiss Army Sean running a tournament bracket challenge for the Horse Racing Today Nation. The winner will get some nice memorabilia signed by a jockey or a trainer or somebody famous in the sport. Maybe Terry. So go, and that's worth winning, believe me. So go ahead and head on over to our Facebook page, Horse Race, the number 2 You'll see the link over there. Go ahead and sign up. Let's see what you got with your picks instead of leaving it up to Terry and I all the time. Umet, Christopher D'Souza, Scary Creations, and others that put picks in there. Forgive me if I forget, because I'm an old man and I tend to forget things. No matter what you're doing for the rest of this hump day that I shared with Hollywood Hay at Horse Racing Today, we certainly hope that you get God's grace, God's favor, and every single thing that you do. Hold on. One last comment. Good luck. Thank you, Christopher. Everything that you do, including Christopher D'Souza, and good luck, ends up in the
winner's circle.
Yes, Terry, I look forward to doing 9 races with you tomorrow at Gulfstream Park. Till then, make it a great day.